Now, let's go to the back aisle. That's where all the meat is, right? When I see meat, I'm thinking of like constipation, severe constipation. I'm making a series of videos to promote my book. And there will be 1-minute videos. And the first one is about bowel movement. How many should you have per day? Now, this is a big issue. And again, I get to hear about all this because I have private conversations with people.
Let's talk about it.
I'm of the opinion, now you're gonna think this is absurd, that if you eat 3 meals a day, how many bowel movements should you get?
Three.
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 One for one. One for one. It's almost impossible to do that if you don't have a lot of fiber in your diet. There is no fiber in meat products. None. None. Aside from the fact that, you know, there are some other dangerous things that are pumped into the meat products by the industry, the growers, but there's no fiber in it. So the way to get fiber in your diet is from the first aisle. Fiber is the magic ingredient, especially for weight loss. So let's say you wanted to lose weight and you didn't want to starve yourself. Everyone thinks that you have to diet and starve. That's not true. You can eat as much as you want as long as you eat certain foods. So if you take an equicaloric amount of beef versus spinach, same amount of calories, you'd have a lot more spinach, right? But you'd have about the same amount of protein. Now, people don't know that. People are always thinking, I gotta have protein, and they think they have to have animal products. No, you do not. I haven't had animal products in 28 years, and I think I have enough protein to keep me going and moving. So, meat is somewhat dangerous because it can clog you up and cause intestinal problems. Let's say diverticulitis. Well, I know a lot of people with that. My aunt had diverticulitis for years. She's about 70 years old. She was in the hospital at one point. She's going back and forth to the doctor, taking this drug, that drug, nothing's working, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know about it, and we started talking about it. And I literally, well, not literally, but almost had to get on my knees and beg her not to eat bacon and eggs every morning. Every morning, she's over the frying pan, just looking at it and salivating, right? I had to beg her. I said, look, when you wake up, I want you to eat nothing but fruit for breakfast. Maybe a little bit of nuts, but fruit. Then for lunch, I want you to have a salad. A big salad, as much as you can eat, doesn't matter how much. And then after that, you can have your bacon and eggs or whatever else you want. So she goes from having 1 or 2 bowel movements a week to every day in 3 days, 72 hours, like that. After going to the doctor for all of these years and nothing's working, she's having all types of problems. That can be circumvented. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, that can be wiped out also. Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, inflammatory bowel disease, that's autoimmune, so we can't just wipe that out. That's a different story. Although I do have people with IBD who, when they eat more fruits and vegetables, their symptoms subside sometimes. And it's a lot less, virulent or painful. So, meat is dangerous. It can be dangerous if you do too much. Yes.
Can you have, I eat 2 eggs for breakfast every morning, no bacon, but I eat fruit with it. Is that okay, or is it, why do you say just fruit for breakfast? I mean, don't you need some protein to kind of?
Have some
You
spinach.
get protein from fruit.
You get protein. You get some protein in fruit.
Yeah.
And you get it
But
from vegetables.
And you get it from vegetables also. And you
Yeah.
get more than enough. All right, protein. Let's talk about that for a bit. We talked about the turkey. The question is, how much protein do you need? So there is an equation for that. It's 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. But let's forget that for a minute. How many of you know someone personally who is suffering or has a disease from a lack of protein? Anyone? They're just not getting enough and they're sick and they're falling apart. No. How many of you know the name of the disease you get from a lack of protein?
Cancer.
No.
No, don't answer if you know. How many? Only one person knows. Kwashiorkor. That's the disease you get.
What's it called?
Kwashiorkor.
The
Kwashiorkor.
doctor knew.
That's the name of it. And how many of you know people with kwashiorkor? Probably none of you. How do you get kwashiorkor?
Starvation.
You'd have to be pretty much malnourished to get it. So what I'm really saying is that we get too much protein in this country. We are convinced that we need more protein when we get diseases from too much protein, not too little. So we can look at something like gout or arthritis, heart disease, kidney failure. If you have kidney problems, they put you on a low protein diet, correct? So we have problems because we have too much. And we always think we need more. That means that the people who make our food, or the cattle growers, or whatever association, they've done a great job on us. They're getting us to buy something that we really don't need.